Kia ora, my beautiful friends. Welcome along to our lower back class. So this is the second in the lower back series, all about strengthening, soothing, and relieving our lower backs, also known as the lumbar spine. You probably know this is an area that takes a hell of a beating in life. Lower back concerns and pain and discomfort are such a common thing. So a lot of the time what we don't realize or what we're not quite aware of is that there is so much connected to the lower back. Often the problem isn't the lower back itself, but it is the supporting and the stabilizing areas that are not working as they should be to support the lower back. And so the lower back ends up taking all of the pressure, all of the load, all of the compression. So what we're going to do today is start to wake up and switch on some of the areas that are going to help to support your lower back. Great. So you don't need any equipment. If you do have a little stretchy band, also known as a booty band, there is going to be one or two places that we can add that in to make things a little bit more challenging or a little more spicy. So grab that if you feel, and we're going to start down on our backs. So come to the floor. Feet standing on the floor. And we're going to start by bringing a little bit of awareness to the core. So I'd like you to take a nice deep breath in, fill the belly. And as you breathe out, you're going to tilt the pubic bone and the tailbone up towards the sky. So that's going to, in turn, start to press the lower back area down to the earth. As you breathe in again, let's tilt the pubic bone and the tailbone down and away from us, allowing your lower back to arch away from the earth. Again, exhale, tilting the pelvis, pubic bone, tailbone up towards you, up towards the sky. And breathing in, tilting down and away, releasing the lower back away from the floor. Just do that a couple more times, rocking the pelvis, moving between what's known as a posterior tilt and an anterior tilt. So depending on how your pelvis naturally sits in the structure of your body, will also depend how much your lower back is affected by your daily movement as well. Just a couple more like that, breathing in to arch away and breathing out to close the space between the lower back and the earth. Beautiful. Now we're going to do the same thing with the upper portion of the torso, so the rib cage. You can bring your hands here if that helps you to map out what you're doing with the body. So at rest, the ribs will naturally kind of flare out and stick out a little bit. You'll be able to feel them with your hands. We're going to breathe into that space, fill the ribs, expand the ribs, allow them to flare out and get bigger. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine the rib cage getting smaller, and almost like the ribs are knitting in and amongst each other. So closing in, contracting in, rib cage becoming smaller, almost like your front ribs are moving down towards the back ribs, pressing into the floor. Good. Inhale, expand. Allow them to get bigger, breathing breath right throughout the whole lungs, rib cage. And exhale, closing them down. Few more like that, breathing in, filling the body, and breathing out, emptying the body, contracting that rib cage. Beautiful. Now, thinking back to the pelvis as well as the rib cage, find the positions that you held for the out breath. So you're going to tilt the pelvis towards you, pubic bone, tailbone lift up towards you, up towards the sky. And you're also going to contract the rib cage, pressing the front ribs towards the back ribs. So holding this position, Keep it there and breathe normally. So in this position, the spine is supported by the activation of the front body. Yeah. So the more arched the lower back is, the more these ASIS bones, the pointy bones at the front of your hips, are going to move down and away from your ribs, opening up this whole core area. What we want to try and do is try to kind of close and contain the space between the lower ribs and those pointy bones. Almost like there's a really strong imaginary rubber band between these 2 points. So whenever you're doing any movement, lifting, anything at the gym, even just walking or running, keeping this awareness of these hip bones here at the front, connecting energetically to the ribs, keeping that nice and strong and being able to breathe here at the same time. This is holding an intra-abdominal pressure. Brilliant. So enough of the jargon. I want you to try and maintain this. So don't let the core completely relax and soften. Keep a little bit of awareness and activation there. Excellent. Now I want you to raise the right leg. Straighten it out and point the toe up towards the sky. And then you're going to bring your hands to your right thigh. So I want you to try and bring your leg in towards you. At the same time with your hands, you're resisting. So you're pressing your hands into your leg and trying to press your leg away from you. At the same time, your leg's pulling back in. So you're pushing away, your leg is resisting, and you're drawing your leg back in and your hands are resisting. So it's almost like a tug of war between the hands and the leg, keeping the tension on. And you'll really start to feel this right hip flexor and the right core muscles working, pulling the leg in. You might be shaking a little bit, I know I am, and then pressing it away. Pulling it in, resisting, pressing away. Pulling in, pressing away. Beautiful. Take your hands to the back of your leg now. Press the heel towards the sky. So you're now going to feel the back of the leg a little bit more. You're going to do the same thing here. So you're going to draw your leg in towards you using your hands, but you're going to press your leg back against your hands. So you're resisting those two opposing forces, leg moving in, leg pushing back against your hands, leg moving in, leg pushing back against your hands. So you're letting your hands win one way and you're letting your leg win the other way. Doesn't matter if the leg's not completely straight here. I do understand that the flexibility of the hamstring will come into play. So if the knee's a little bit bent, that's totally okay. Just focus on the contraction, the sensation, the activation down the back of your right leg, pulling it in with your hands as your leg fights, and then pressing the leg away as the hands fight. Awesome. Place that foot gently back down on the floor. Take a little break. Take a little breather. And we're going to change sides. So again, make sure that your lower back hasn't come away from the floor and you've got what we call open scissors at the front. If you think about two blades of the scissors, when the blades are open, we're not going to be cutting anything. As soon as we start to close the blades and the blades come together, that's where we get the strength and the power of the scissors. So you want to close the scissors. Go to raise the left leg, bring those palms to the thigh, and you're going to start to press away. As your leg resists, pull back in. As your hands resist. Finding those opposing forces, keeping the tension on, and keep your breath flowing nice and smoothly. Something we tend to do, especially when we're concentrating or we're activating something quite strongly, is we'll hold the breath, thinking that it's helping, but it's actually not. Breathe. Press away, resist, pull back in, resist. Feeling the front of that left hip, left side of the core. Beautiful. Change to the back of the leg, finding the hamstring stretch this time. So find the stretch first. Doesn't matter where the leg is. Everybody's leg's going to be at a different height, that's okay. And then from that point, you're going to try to bring your leg in close towards you by pulling with your hands, and your leg's going to be pressing back against the hands to resist. Another leg presses away, and the hands try to stop it. Hands pull in, leg tries to fight, leg presses away, hands try to resist. So just working there for a couple more rounds. You should be feeling some sensation in the butt and the back of the left thigh here. Beautiful. You're going to release the left leg down, but take it all the way to the floor. So stretch it out nice and long. Right foot can stay exactly where it is. Take your arms out to your sides. We're going to go through a little flow on both sides of the body to free up the lower back. So as you take a breath in, arch your lower back away from the earth again. Tilt the pelvis forward and down. And as you exhale, return to neutral. Lower back comes close to the floor again. Do that again. Breathe in. Arching lower back away from the earth as much as you can. Open the scissors. And exhale, return to neutral, closing those scissors. One more time. Inhale, arch away. And exhale. Return to neutral. Good. Next, as you breathe in, you're going to slide your right buttock or your right hip up the mat just a little bit towards your right shoulder. Almost like you're trying to crunch your right side obliques. Crunching the right side of your body and expanding, extending, lengthening the left side of your body. And as you exhale, slide it back down again. Hips are square and neutral. Inhale, hiking that right hip up. You're not taking it off the floor, just sliding it up the mat and then sliding it back down again. Once more, hike it up, squeezing it towards the right shoulder and sliding it down. Beautiful. On the next breath in, I want you to open out that right knee, that right hip to the side. Let that knee flop open. Come to the outside edge of your right foot. And then exhale, right foot back to the floor. Inhale, let your knee flop across to the left this time, towards your left thigh. Not twisting the hips, just letting the knee fall to the left, and then exhale back to the center. So let's tie that together in a nice flow. So you're going to inhale, arch your lower back away from the floor. And exhale, return to neutral. Inhale, slide the right hip up the mat towards the right shoulder. And exhale, slide it back down. Inhale, open out the right knee. Nice and easy, nice and soft. And exhale, back to the center. Inhale, let that knee fall to the left. And exhale back to the center. One more time, all the way through, breathing in to arch. Breathing out to return. Breathing in to hike the right hip up. And out, slide it back down. Well done. Inhale, open out the right knee. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, across to the left. And back to the center. Beautiful job. Now slide the right leg out long to meet your left leg. And relax here for a moment. And just notice what you feel in the body, in the lower back. How do the legs feel compared to one another? The hips. Good, we're going to slide that left foot to the floor, right leg stays out long, and we'll go through the same thing on the left side, starting with 3 of each, just to get used to the movement on this side. So we're inhaling, arching the lower back away, exhaling to return, moving with your breath. Inhaling to arch, exhaling, returning. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Next, moving to the hiking motion. So as you breathe in, sliding the left hip up the mat towards the left shoulder, contracting left side body. Exhale, hip slides back down. Inhale, hike it up. Exhale down. So it's only a really small movement. Small but mighty. Inhale, sliding it up. Exhale down. Good. This time we inhale, open out that left knee. And exhale to bring the foot back to the floor. Inhale, take it across to the right. Again, very small but powerful movements, and back to the center. Let's link it all together, 1 of each. Inhale to arch. Exhale, return. Inhale, slide left hip up. Exhale, return. Inhale, open left knee, left hip. Exhale, return. Inhale, let it fall to the side. And exhale. 1 more time all the way through, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in, slide the hip up. Breathing out, back to neutral. Breathing in, open out. Breathing out, back to the center. Breathing in, take it across. Breathing out, back to the center. Wonderful. Stretch that left leg out long. Pausing here for a moment, noticing the sensations in your body. Feeling the breath, feeling the awareness now around all those areas that we have been working into. All right, you can bring your feet to the floor again. We're going to roll over to our left side. You're going to bring your hand to the side of your head, just resting the head into the hand, bending the knees and bringing them up to about 90 degrees. Now, really important here, think about those open scissors and closed scissors again, and I want you to close the front body. So in turn, you're kind of pressing the hips forward, squeezing the butt forward slightly. You can use your right hand here just to support you, and you're going to keep your ankles and your feet joined together, keeping your scissors closed and your butt pressing forward. I want you to open out the top knee. Lift it and feel the squeeze in the outer hip. So you can bring your right hand here, just check that that muscle is activating, and then lower it down again. So ankles or heels stay together, and you're opening out that top knee. Lower down. Let's do 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Good. So this is where you can add the band around your knees to add a little bit more load, a little bit more resistance. So if you have the band, please feel free to pause or go back and add it in. We're going to step it up a little bit. So next we're going to lift the feet off the floor. Exactly the same thing. Lifting the knee, opening the hip. lower down. Lift the knee, squeeze the outer right hip, lower down. Good, you got 3 more. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. Good, releasing down. This time, you're going to come up onto that left forearm, shoulder above the elbow, so you're nice and strong and supported. Bring the right hand to the right hip. This is the next progression up. So if this feels a little too much for you, just stay with one of the previous options. We're going to do 5 reps here. And if this proves a little too difficult at this point, just stick with the first or the second variation. So this time, you're going to press the bottom knee into the floor and the bottom foot, and you're going to press the hips forward and lift as you open the top knee at the same time, and then lower back down to your original position, okay? So press the bottom knee into the floor, lift your hips off the mat at the same time, squeeze your butt, press your hips forward, and lower down. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Awesome job, guys. Let's change sides. Coming down onto our right side now, cradling the head into that right hand. Legs at about 90 degrees. Press the hips forward, close the front body, yeah? These are all the tiny little details that make all the difference to how your body functions, how it feels, to your posture, to your pain, to your injury susceptibility, to your injury recovery, all of it. Okay, so level 1, we are opening the top knee, checking that we're squeezing into that left glute, outside, lift, and lower. 3 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, nice and slow. Last one, inhale, exhale. Good, lift the feet, knees are together. Same thing, make sure you're keeping on pressing the pelvis forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. That's 2. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Last one, breathe in, breathe out. Whew, good job. Should be feeling a burn there. Come up to the right forearm. The elbow is stacked under the shoulder, pressing those hips forward. We'll go 5 rounds here. Pressing that bottom knee into the earth as you lift your hips. Press them forward, open out. Lower down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, breathing in, and 5. Awesome job, you guys. Should be feeling some heat, some sensation, some awareness in those outer hips. That is what we want, okay? This gets me very excited. Bring yourself onto hands and knees. Take the knees wide, big toes to touch together, and we'll sink our butts back into a nice child's pose. If the forehead doesn't rest to the floor comfortably, you're going to bring a block or a cushion or even just the hands underneath the forehead, or maybe even to the temple with the head to one side, and just allowing your body to rest in this stretch for a couple of moments. Sitting bones descending towards the heels, feeling the length of your spine, feeling the hip joints, the hip sockets, front of the hips, the back of the hips, the side of the hips, feeling the lower back, the space in the lower back, and just taking a couple of nice deep breaths into the space of your lower back. So breathing into the back of your body, directing the breath, or even just visualizing the breath moving into the lower back and out again. Breathing in, healing, soothing energy, light to the lower back. And breathing out any tension, any pain, any discomfort, letting it go. Good. Let's stretch those arms out a little bit longer in front of us. You're going to press down into the floor with your hands, with your forearms. Fingers are spread nice and wide. And we're going to shift our bodies forward. So lift the hips and start to bring the chest in between the shoulders towards the hands, peeling your body down, arriving on your belly into what we call Sphinx pose. So if this is a little too much on the lower back, first of all, I want you to tilt if this feels at all niggly on the lower back or pinchy, first of all, I want you to press down into the floor with the tops of your feet. Feel how that switches on your thigh muscles, and then point your tailbone down towards your feet. So you're coming into that tilting of the pelvis position again, almost like you're pressing your pubic bone into the floor. Roll your shoulders back, lift the chest. If it's still a little too much, walk the elbows, slide the elbows forward a little bit more. Give yourself some space. Keep the chin tucked in. And breathe. Good. You're going to slide the hands now either side of your chest. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Roll the shoulders back. Take a breath in. Come to a little baby cobra. Keeping those elbows tucked in towards the ribs. And then exhale to peel down. Now, I want you to walk your hands and your body over to the left. So your legs stay still. And your body is on a diagonal to the left. Same thing again here. Inhale, breathe in. Come into this asymmetrical cobra pose. Exhale, breathe out. Walk your hands and your body to the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Good. Go to the left again. Now this time as you lift, try not to use your hands so much to press away. Just have your hands there as a support, but you're using the strength of the lower back and the back to lift up. The support of the legs pressing into the floor, lower down. One more time to the right, lift. Keep those shoulders down. Good, and release. Back to the center. Now release your body to the floor. Rest your forehead onto your hands. And imagine that someone is rocking your legs and your hips and your pelvis side to side, almost kneading you like a ball of dough. And you're just going to let your hips rock or sway on the mat side to side, keeping the legs relaxed, and let the legs and the feet go floppy. Beautiful. Now let the arms stretch out in front of you, forehead to the mat or slightly lifted away if that's more comfortable for you. And do some contralateral leg and arm lifts. So keeping your pelvis pressing into the floor, keeping that awareness of the front body. You're going to lift your right arm straight up and lift your left leg at the same time. And now as you lower those down, you're going to lift the opposite arm and leg. And then lower and lift. Lower and lift. Nice and slow. Nice and fluid, controlled, contralateral movement. Try to keep the legs straight. Keep the chin tucked in so you're not cramping into the back of your neck. Couple more, like you're swimming Superman. Awesome, release. And slide the hands either side of your chest again. And you're going to lift yourself up to hands and knees, tabletop, and give your hips a sway side to side here. And then tuck the toes, shift the hips up to the sky. Keep those knees bent. Don't try to jam the heels down and straighten out the legs. Press the floor away. Nice lot of space around the neck and shoulders. Feeling that length through your spine, pointing your tail to the sky. Have a walk out through those heels now, bending one knee and straightening the other. A little bit of movement in the hips. Beautiful. Bring those knees down to the earth. Come to sit on your bottom. And shuffle yourself forward. We'll finish down on our backs. Take the feet to the floor, a little bit wider than your mat's width distance. So nice wide feet. We'll go for a nice window wipe. Again, letting their legs, hips and pelvis be floppy as you let the knees rock from side to side. Nice work, team. Let's hug the knees into the chest. Make a nice little ball. Bring the forehead up to the knees, rounding your spine. Nice. And then just use your hands to support you as you gently bring yourself back up to sitting. And so that brings us to the end of our lower back practice today, you guys. I hope this has brought you some immediate relief and comfort. Don't forget that this will also be building strength and stability over time, which is accumulative. So do come back and keep repeating. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Practice, practice, practice. And you'll really start to see some changes in your body, in your breath, and in the way that your body feels. So I look forward to seeing you again next time. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed this class. I love hearing about what you guys are enjoying, and I can't wait to see you on the mat again very soon. Yay!